Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Aurora Stefarak and here I am today to deliver you the weekly intuitive energy update for the week of October 4th, 2021. All right, welcome. If you are new here, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel because every week I am putting out an energy update. I just tap into the frequencies and I use my tools and I just be the clear conduit for whoever it is that resonates with this information. So welcome. I actually started 12 weeks of Christmas today. I know, it's crazy, right? How can I be talking about Christmas? Because I am doing a giveaway for the next 12 weeks up to Christmas. Every week on my Facebook page, I'm going to be putting together a little giveaway, whether that be a service or products. I'm not quite sure. It'll just kind of work out how it works intuitively, as you know I am. So yeah, that is what is going on over there. So check out my Facebook page, Translucent Truth Yoga, on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And follow along because I'm really excited to watch the unfoldment of it all. So yeah, the prize gets released on Monday, and then like what the actual like offering is that I'm giving out, and then Thursday I announce it. And all you have to do is like the page, share the post, and comment hashtag whatever I have up. I forget what I said now, but whatever the hashtag is, right? And so that way I can filter through. Anyone who comments is actually where the random generator is going to pick the winner from. So you want to make sure that you do the hashtag, because that is your ticket in, right? So, okay. Wow, there is so much information here. And I think what I'm going to do is just play a little bit of my singing bowl to ground myself. And I got to turn this light down, man. It's so bright. I like it, but oh my God, it is really fucking with my eyes. Okay. That one's, no. Turn it down. What if I turn it off? Wow, my eyes are so messed up now. Okay, welcome to having a ring light. Okay, I think I'll leave it like that. That's fine. Just a, ooh, no. Okay, yeah. All right, now I'm just gonna play a little bit of a singing bowl, clear the energies, and kind of pull in our higher selves, pull in source frequency, so that we can deliver the best messages for our highest good this week, the week of October 4th, 2021. One just rings. I love it. It's so good. I love this one too. Okay. So hopefully that helped you ground a bit. It helped me ground a bit. Whenever I just close my eyes, even if it's just for as long as I just did there, 20 seconds, 10 seconds, it really helps me to ground back into my body so that I can kind of clear the energy from my mind and from my heart and just from my distracted ego that just wants to find the next thing to go to. And it helps me to, just connect back to myself. So just put the outside world outside and really just hone in on my inner world, right? And so interesting that I said that. So honing in on our inner world, maybe that's a big theme this week. I didn't write that one down, but that's a good one to keep in your back pocket, because really the veil is thinning, and that is something that I will get into. And what that means is that what is the word I want? I'm having a blank now. The veil, the space between kind of the living and the dead, you know, like thins, right? So what that means is that, you know, like around Halloween or around a full moon, there's always a lot of energies. And so that is when that veil is thinner, right? Because it's allowing for us to hear the other side and the communication. So like you might see a lot more like numbers from your angels or from your guides or from loved ones that have passed over. Like you'll be really in flow, really in tune, and really in alignment with like hearing the messages. And that's when the veils are thinner, right? That is due to the veils being thinner, because it's allowing for us to kind of like peep over to the other side in this body, right? And so as we learn how to navigate our inner world and learn how to function in the outer world through a new lens, right? These paradigm shifts that are going to be coming through. It was just 555 on the video, so all about change too, right? So really like honing into our inner worlds and our inner dialogues and our everyday kind of day-to-day reality, and what it is that we're doing and what it is that we should be doing or shouldn't be doing, or that are serving us or that are not serving us, or relationships that we need to cut, or relationships that we need to call in, or realizing what your needs are, or realizing all the things about your life, right? So what's serving you and what's not, and kind of finding that balance between. And the veil also helps with that, because it allows for us to connect to our higher selves, which is basically our soul, our spirit, because we are spirit in a human body, right? And so we're again trying to find that balance between the space between spirit and the physical, right? So when I say the veil is thinning, it means so much. So sometimes that's why I get like a little bit tongue-tied, because it's like, well, shit, how do I explain this in a way that kind of covers all the bases? And the truth of it is, I just can't right now in this quick little explanation, right? And so I find the best way to just deliver it with context that we're in right now, right? So hopefully that makes sense to you of like what I mean by like the veil thinning. It just means we have more access to the spirit world, and the spirit world has more access to us, and we're more open and receptive to the messages, okay? So that was pretty cool. I didn't plan on saying any of that, so that was awesome. So I want to get right into like this new moon energy. The new moon is on October 6th. Okay, so that's Wednesday. And I'm going to just mute my phone so I don't get distracted when I hear noises. Okay, so this new moon is on Wednesday. And so new moons represent like the dark phase of the moon, right? Where the sun is not reflecting the light, right? So we're really in the shadow, in the darkness, in the yin of the phase, which is the feminine, right? Which is the emotions, right? And I mean, the moon is emotions in general, but really like understanding this right now in the sense of the new moon. So like illuminating our shadows, new beginnings, which also mean endings had to happen in order for a new beginning to occur, right? So like death and rebirth energy, this is like the new cycle that is coming with this moon. So there's a lot of different kind of ways that you can pick your own intuitive messages, but just look into what the new moon means to you and kind of learn and see, like, it's about planting seeds. It's about like being in a dark place and kind of being the light within that place, right? And so also knowing that this is the phase of the cycle that you're in, right? Like you'll hear me say this probably every week, because it's so important to know like what phase of the cycle you're in, right? And so when we know the phase of the moon cycle that we're in and how it affects us as a whole and our being and the earth and the universe and beyond, when we can start connecting into that rhythm, it really gives purpose and it gives understanding and it gives meaning as to like why we're going through what we're going through, because there's always a reason. There is no such thing as coincidence, only synchronicity, because coincidence says that there is no connection between the two when everything is connected. So there's just absolutely no way that something can be a coincidence, right? In my paradigm, in the way that I see the world and in what I believe, right? And that's through going through my years and years and years and years of all the programming and all the different things that I believed and that were really like in my psyche and programmed into me through, you know, generational, societal, all the different all the different ways that we're programmed, right? And so really getting to the nitty gritty of that. And so like, I'm going into all this right now because it has to do with the new moon, right? This is kind of what the new moon is going to bring up for you. And so it's like, okay, what is serving you? What is not? And we always come back to these basic questions just because it's like, it can be that basic, right? When we have these like pillar questions to ask ourselves of like, how can I move forward? How can I step into this next phase? How can I close the doors behind me and open up the new ones in a new light, in a way that I am excited for and thrilled to be moving forward, instead of, you know, being caught in the grief and in the darkness and the sadness and the resistance to change, which is really what's happening, right? It's not the change itself, it's the resistance that you have of actually going through that experience and emotionally and mentally and physically letting go of said experience, right? So that is on Wednesday. So like this week kind of is building, you know, it's on Wednesday, so it's the middle of the week, at least the work week, right? And so like we're gonna have this kind of up and down, and we're already in this energy, right? 3 days before the moon and 3 days after the moon, there's like kind of this window of that energy kind of building up and fading, right? And so we're kind of in this build up energy right now. And so really utilizing, like if you're going through a lot right now within your own life of like, you know, mentally or emotionally, or you're really struggling to overcome something where you're like, how do I know what to do next? Understand that this is what everybody's going through right now, and just to be in that space and stop trying to run away from it and stop trying to like get out of that space and be in it. Just be in it. Okay, if I'm sad, then I'm sad. If I'm happy, then I'm happy. If I want to talk to people, then I talk to people. If I don't, then I don't, right? Like it's like really like, what are your needs? And like listening, right? And like asking guides to come through and help you with understanding what it is that's going on, right? Because again, there's always a reason for something. We don't just irrationally do things. It's like, well, there's always something connected to why we're doing what we're doing, right? So it's really about tapping into that awareness of, what are you doing, right? What is it that you do? What are you doing? How are you doing it, right? And asking these questions and just observing your life and seeing what it is that you gravitate towards and what you don't, and if it fills you or if it doesn't, and kind of like bring awareness. Like that's really the only way to become aware, is to bring awareness to whatever it is that you would like to be enlightened of, right? So, okay, I know, words, it sounds so good, but like, how do we do it, right? It's just like, okay, we're always purging, we're always cleansing, we're always purifying. Yeah, we are. That's the reality of it. That's what we're here to do in this human body, is to literally purify our vessel, is to purify our mind, our body, and our spirit, so that we can ascend into higher consciousness, right? And so like, once we can have that under our belt and understanding that, then everything has a purpose and everything has meaning. And you realize that you are the creator, you are the conscious co-creator of your reality with the universe. It's you and the universe. So really, like, what is it that you're creating, right? And so like going into just seeing, observing what is going on in my life, what emotions am I feeling, like what thoughts am I having, what are the 5 most common emotions that you feel every day, right? And sit with that. What are those emotions? Where are they coming from? Are they good? Are they not? In the sense of like, are they filling you? Are they draining you? Are you sitting with that emotion that is kind of hard to sit with and process and be open to? Or are you just suppressing it through different things so that you don't have to acknowledge it, and then it comes and manifests in other ways that you don't understand even more, because you don't understand that root cause of what is creating this manifestation? Which, hello, I just explained the subconscious to you. The subconscious mind is where all of our beliefs are held, right? And so we have our conscious mind, where I can think to myself in my mind, hi, my name is Aurora. Or you can say, hi, my name is whatever. And like that voice that you hear when you say, hi, my name is, like, that is your conscious mind, right? And so like, to utilize that tool that we have as humans of like understanding time and space, and actually being able to like step out from that cyclical reality that, you know, nature is in, all animals and plants and the whole earth as a whole, that cyclical, more like universal energy, we are kind of out of that. And so we've kind of been on this linear path when the entire universe works in cycles, right? And so it's just like we're learning to reconnect, we're learning to like resituate and realign to like new perspectives so that we can really tap into like what it is that we're learning here, instead of just feeling like you're on this one-way track to death. It's like, how about we think about, I die every day because I birth myself every day. I create a new me every day. When I wake up in the morning, what am I thinking? What am I doing? What am I focusing on? How am I choosing to step into my life as a contributor, as somebody that's in my life creating it, right? And so like, this is how we can learn to shift that energy, is just through sitting with it and learning and connecting to yourself in different ways. There's so many ways. You can do meditation, you can do yoga, you can journal, you can just like sing to yourself, you can do whatever, you can cook, you can clean, you can find whatever it is that really like amps you up and really like shifts your energy, because that's all that it is. You just have stagnated energy that's basically being held in certain areas of your body due to certain emotions, due to lack of being able to process that experience, right? And so like, going full circle back to that experience that you're not able to process, which is called trauma, right? Back to our trauma and our responses in our body and our psyche in all areas, right? And so like, we're really getting an upgrade right now. Like, even listen to the words coming out of my mouth right now. Like, I'm not even thinking, I am just on to the next. And this is kind of the energy that we're all learning to tap into and learning to step into, which is like source consciousness, which is like higher consciousness, just a higher awareness, so that you're able to move through situations easier, so that you're able to have this higher perspective, get what you need out of the situation, and then move forward. And you're not holding on to everything that happens to you in this human body, because everything is always going to be happening, right? And so it's like, how can we learn to process what it is that is coming at us while it's coming at us, so that we don't keep bringing it into the future, right? So that we don't keep making the same mistakes, and we don't keep attracting the same lessons but with different people. We're like, oh yeah, I hear that lesson, cool, don't do that again. And then you know, right? And really like integrating that and embodying that in like your everyday life, right? So it is like a commitment, it is like a discipline, it is like a dedication to self, and to really loving yourself, and to really honing into how have the best quality of life that you can have and that you can provide to others from there, right? Meaning your children or your family or whatever it is that you have, that you know that comes before you. But really, we need to learn to put ourselves first, so that we're able to, you know, actually fuel that fire, right? All right, wow, that was a lot from just the new moon. I definitely covered, like, honestly, a lot of what I was gonna say, but I'm just gonna go through my list like I usually do. And I gotta get rid of this thing. Okay, good. Whew. Sometimes, one time I accidentally ended the video when I tried swiping a notification away, and that was a whole sitch. So thank you for not doing that. Okay, so wow, that's a lot of information, guys. I have this double-sided, but this one is a lot easier to go through, because I'm going to teach you guys the power of crying, which I'm really excited for, because honestly, like, actually that's one of the main lessons that I've taught my dad in this lifetime, is like that crying is so liberating to me. So whenever he'd see me cry, he'd be like, babes, don't cry, like everything's okay. And I'm like, Dad, like, just let me cry. Like, can you just let me cry? Like, this is a lot for me right now. Like, I just need to cry. I need to let it out. I need to, just my expression. It's how I'm able to process my emotions when I don't know how to process them. It's just a release for me, right? And so teaching him that was a really valuable lesson in his lifetime, because, well, he's a man and he's programmed into the societal structure that crying is being a baby and this, that, whatever, and don't cry because whatever. And it was so unconscious in his mind that he didn't know he was handing that over to me through kind of interacting with me that way, and me doing all my work that I do. And I'm like, don't tell me not to cry. Like, whoa, bro, like, this is my, like, this is what I do. Like, you don't tell me not to do what I do. So I taught him over the years that I really, like, love to cry, because it's a way to kind of, relieve myself of whatever it is that I'm going through, right? So, okay, that's what I'm going to get into in a minute, though, because I want to go through it in order. And I'll probably go through it kind of quick, because I did touch on a lot of what I said already. Okay, cool. So the first thing is transparency, okay, which is funny because my business that I've now created is called Translucent Truth Yoga. So of course we're all about transparency, right? And so that's kind of the energy that kind of came up for this week. And with the veil thinning that I already kind of spoke of, like, that's going to allow for us to help with transparency. So now you can see how, like, that veil thinning can also be seen as this, right? How we can get more honest, more in alignment with our honesty with ourselves, with our integrity with ourselves, right? And so when we can sit in our own truth and in our own authenticity, that is like saying, if I need to cry, then I need to cry. Or if I need to go do something or this or that, I'm just fulfilling my need, and not from a place of like all about me ego, but from a place of like I matter too, right? And so having that kind of pivotal personal paradigm shift, like that revelation within your own life to say like, oh wow, I do matter and I am important, and really like implementing that, like that's really what is going to catalyze you, because you're putting your energy that's been depleted, that's been all over from all these different values, venues, what's the word I want, like different connections, I'm just going to say, different people, places, things, different through your mind, through your heart, through your body, of like where your energy is, like all the time, right? And so like really like honing in and coming to yourself and asking yourself, being honest, and like as the month unfolds, we're going to be becoming more transparent with ourselves, and that is as the veil is thinning, right? And so that is also in with this new moon and this new beginning energy, and this like really stepping onto our new path, because it's like, wow, now is the time to really take our armor off and to really say, hey, like I don't want to wear my mask anymore. Let me take it off. Let me liberate myself from wearing this mask. Not like, I'm not even talking about COVID right now. I'm just talking about this facade that you put out to the universe or to the world of like who you are. And if it's in alignment with your truth, with your authenticity, with your integrity, then great. And if it's not, then you have to start kind of maneuvering your life to align to whatever that is. And then you're like, well, how the fuck do I know? Like, how do I know what my integrity is and my truth and my this and my that? Well, you sit there with yourself and you get to know yourself, and you're like, hey, what's up, girl? Like, let's hang out for a bit. Want to journal? Yeah, sure. And then you go hang out with yourself and you journal and you write, and maybe something from your childhood's been on your heart a lot, and you just need to be heard and be seen. So why aren't you going to be that person to witness it and to see it and to hear it, so that you can help yourself move through that, because you're really the only one that has the capacity to really do that. Yes, others can be here to guide you, but you're the one that has to go through it, right? So hang out with yourself more. That's how you get more in alignment with your truth, with your authenticity, with your integrity, with what you really believe in, and really start cutting away the cords and the beliefs and all of the things from other people that come from outside of you, and really hone in and go within and connect to that dialogue of your soul, of your truth, of, just listen and feel the feelings, and you'll know. It's a knowing, right? Like someone says, hey, yeah, you like this, and you don't. You're going to say, absolutely no, I don't, right? So just connecting with that part of you, really, that's all it is. So as we go through the month, yes, we will be becoming more transparent with ourselves, which is going to reflect in our external world with our people that are in our lives, right? With, our partners, or with our children, or with like, our work or whatever, our friends. It's all going to start kind of like showing and opening up, right? Which is a beautiful thing, because it allows for us to reevaluate like what's important. It's like I'm seeing like, if you get sick and you lose your health for a week or two or whatever, or maybe even longer if you have a contract to have, you know, cancer or some type of other thing, right? But like, say you do get your health back and you are recovered and it is just something small, or it is something big, and then you do make the comeback, and it's like you're a new person, like you're a whole new human. And that whole transformation process, I mean, even becoming a mother or a father, or, you know, getting married or moving houses, like these are all monumental things and shifts in our lives, right? And so like these are parts of our identity that we pick up, and sometimes when we're not honest with ourselves, we go down this path that's not in alignment with our authentic self. And so then we're so in denial about our reality that we can't really like look at the truth, because it hurts, it's uncomfortable, it's like, fuck, how did I get here? And I totally understand that, because I have been there. That is how I can speak of this, right? And so it's really just about being honest with you. You don't have to say anything to anyone else. You don't have to even mention anything. You just have to know and dedicate yourself to you, right? And say, okay, I honor myself. I will be transparent. I will be honest, because I want to live a fulfilling life, right? Okay. So then we have October, just the month October, and it's kind of like the representation that I got for October is orange, right, with Halloween and everything, and then the leaves changing and this, that, whatever, fall colors, and that is the sacral, that is our womb space. So this is the space of creation, right? And so all of that just to say to you through this intuitive message to follow that little breadcrumb to the creativity and what it is that we're focusing on creating. And that's why being so transparent right now is like, what are you creating? This is the question that you're being asked. What are you creating? What in your life are you creating? Is it good? Is it not? Is it benefiting you? Is it not? You know, looking at these, again, very basic questions to ask yourself if, you know, you're struggling with a situation, like, do I go, do I stay, what do I do? Well, you know, play both games until you can't anymore. And what that means is that, you know, like, sit with yourself, get to know your true self, and really dig and ask, hey, is that really what I want? Like, do I want to go another way, or do I want to stay and heal and repair? Like, is this something that I can, you know, work through, or is it something that I need to let go of? And like, both are just as powerful. Like, there's nothing wrong with either or, right? So that's why being in tune with yourself, and well, is it serving you or is it not, right? Like, what is it that's going on in your world, right? So where was I going with all that? The creation, yes. So massive creations are being anchored into your paradigm, right? So it's like we're creating at a rapid rate right now, especially with this veil thinning. And like, we have so much manifestation power. We're always manifesting. It's not like you can turn your manifesting on and off. It's like you're constantly manifesting. So where does that manifestation always come from if you're not even conscious of what's happening? Well, that's your subconscious again, right? That's where our energy's held. That is where, like, you know, our beliefs are stored. That's where all of our memories are stored from every lifetime, from this lifetime, from every part of your life, everything. It's all there. And then that is what feeds into the projector of your human life, into your reality, right? And so it's like clearing that out so that you can have a pure space of creation. Right? And so purifying, back to purifying, right? Because we're really like, you know, like jobs and the way that the world functions and the way that we're running things that, you know, is kind of crumbling right now. We're really stepping into, you know, like this new way of life, this new way of being, this new reality, because like we're entering into a higher state of consciousness. It's like, okay, cool, we live that life of being controlled by the government and this and that, and I know I'm talking about it past tense, like it's not happening right now, but the thing is that the ones that are here to kind of create the path forward, we've already like unlocked so many of these boxes that everyone else is unlocking right now, that we're just like, oh, cool, okay, yeah, great, like the world's collapsing, I've kind of been waiting for that. So now that it's happening, I can start motoring away on what it is that I know that I'm here to do. Like, that's why translucent truth yoga is really booming and really like getting set up. And like my mom's Maya natural products, like I'm working on helping her boom, and my sister's cozy toesies. Yeah, I know, so many different things in my world, right? Like we're all like starting to create, and we're all starting to really step in. And there's other people that are choosing to homeschool their kids, and there's other people, right? Like everyone is having this identity crisis because society is having an identity crisis, right? And so it's like, whoa, what the fuck, right? Like, and like we've never had to like discriminate about a mask or a vaccine before. So like, how do you even know what side you're on, right? Just the programming that's been programmed into you. So what it is that you're exposed to, what it is that you believe, and how your human mind puts it all together so that you can feel safe, so that you can feel like you know what's going on, even though none of us really know what's going on. And that's why it's so important to be in tune with you, so that you know what it is that you need. Okay, so that's kind of what's going on. Like with going forward, it's like we've hit this like threshold, if you will, this like precipice of like COVID, I would say, and like things are really gonna start shifting in a new way now. Like I think we're gonna really start, as the truth starts coming out about the media and all the bullshit and this and that, whatever, as that comes out, the truth is being revealed. And as the truth is being revealed, it becomes undeniable, right? Like the truth becomes undeniable. The truth can never be hidden. We can never, you know, like it will just keep coming back up because it's the truth. It's like, well, don't lie because, you know, you're going to get caught. Like that's what I was told when I was younger. Like mom was like, I always know if you're lying to me. And like my thing was, it was like, well, I just felt in my moral compass, in my own heart, in my own way of seeing the world, in the purity that I did have, plus from my parents teaching me, you know, how to be this way. It's like being able to see the world from that lens is really powerful. And so like that's all that clearing all this trauma is going to help you do. It's going to connect you back to your inner child. It's going to connect you back to your heart. It's going to connect you back to spirit, source, consciousness, magic, like so many beautiful things, relationships, connection, you know, an overflowing cup of abundance all the time. And that's not to say that, you know, you don't have your ups and downs, but it's like, you know that you're abundant always because you're source energy, right? And when you can really embody that, and you can really tap into what it is that's limiting you from seeing that you are the master creator and you are basically the god of your life. I am the one that makes it all happen, right? And when you really start realizing that and empowering yourself, and it can feel overwhelming at first because you're like, oh my god, it's so much responsibility. But when we choose to really like take responsibility for, you know, what it is that we need to take responsibility for, then that stress, that guilt, that overwhelm, the things that, you know, the resistance kind of evaporate, because then your responsibility is taken care of, and then you're free, you're liberated, because you don't have to worry about that, and it's taken care of, right? Like it is so simple, but we get so caught up in our mind, in our ego, in our limiting beliefs, and all these different things, right? So that is the creation energy this week, okay? Because and beyond, I mean, everything I talk about is always going to be and beyond, but yeah, so really being able to be aware of what it is that you're unconsciously emitting to the universe. So be aware of what it is that you are unconsciously emitting to the universe. Beautiful. Okay, I was just guided to light this Palo, so I'm just lighting this Palo as we speak. Okay, and now on to the next. So I have old self is dissolving and integrating, and this results in resistance to change, right? Which I already kind of tapped on. It's not really the change, it's the resistance that's causing the pain, right? Because that is the emotional side of the experience not being able to be processed, right? And so what happens is like our old self is dissolving as we integrate these limiting beliefs, and we start to really, when I say integrate, it's like rewrite that belief into the truth, right? Into like, say, like, I'm not worthy, right? If you do not think you are worthy, then how are you to receive everything that you desire in life, right? And so the way to flip that script is I am not worthy to I am intrinsically worthy. I was born into this life being worthy, and nothing can change that. And knowing your worth and saying, hey, nobody can take that away from me. And the only time they can is if I give it to them, right? And sure, it might have been taken as a child, but that's where you need to sit with, right? That is what this Palo has been healed lit for, is to heal that part, right? I am always doing my work, even if I don't even know what I'm doing, I'm still doing it, right? And that's the beauty, because I trust myself, I trust my human, I trust my higher self to work through me, right? And that is through a lot of pain and a lot of suffering and a lot of healing, a lot of integrating, a lot of my old self dissolving and my new self coming in, a lot of sitting with my shadow and loving myself and saying, Aurora, I'm so sorry that I did this to you. I'm going to love you from here on out. And of course, that comes in bits and pieces and little bites, because I can't just all of a sudden have it all, right? And so also understanding that this is a lifetime mission. You have your entire life to get out to the world what it is that you need to get out. And if you're listening this far still, then you're here for something big. That's probably why you feel so impatient, why you're like, oh my God, it's like you're here for something huge, right? And what another thing to have to integrate, oh my God, really? I'm here for something big? Me? Little old me? Yeah, that's your worth, man. Like, you're worthy of doing something big, of changing the world, of bringing more love and more peace and more harmony and more understanding and more compassion and more gratitude and more of these higher frequencies. That's all it is. If more of us are in these higher frequencies, then we create the world to be that, and we don't tolerate the ones that aren't going to hold that level of love and understanding and compassion. And we will figure out as a collective, through each of us individually making our choices, what it is that we as a humanity, as a species, are going to do moving forward, right? So in order to move forward from this old self and how to actually integrate and dissolve this ego, because we're not getting rid of the ego, we're just integrating it, right? And so when we integrate it, that means that we're actually taking it on. We're like, oh my God, yeah, I can feel jealous, I can feel this, I can feel that, but that's not who I am, right? Yeah, I can feel happy, I can feel this, I can feel that, but that's not who I am, right? And so it's like realizing you aren't your emotions. That's a big one. But kind of understanding the messenger system that emotions are, right? And so like when we are experiencing something, it is just a communication with our external world, because we are just sensory beings, right? Like I just feel, I can feel, I can taste, I can smell, I can touch, I can hear, I can see. And so what that does is it creates my reality around me, right? Like some people are colorblind, some people see like this, some people don't have any sight at all, some people can't hear, right? So that creates a whole new way of like seeing reality, right? And so like we just come so accustomed to like what we can see and what we can't see, that we just believe for hard fact that, oh, if I can't see it, I can't believe it. Well, that's just not true, because I mean, humans don't even fucking see that much, because the spectrum of what humans can see on the light spectrum is like minuscule. Like we can barely see, we can see the rainbow, which actually is encompassing of the entire thing. I went from my human self to my higher self right there, of like saying one thing and then flipping it, because the reality is that we live in a paradoxical universe, okay? So it's like when I say one thing, I gotta balance it with the other, because it's like, yeah, it might be like only a small spectrum that we can see, but also we have access to seeing the whole thing, right? So it's like the human can only see the light spectrum in this physical reality of the prism, of like, the light going through the prism and creating the color, and like certain colors are refracting and this, that, whatever, right? Can't go into how light works because I don't fully know, but I know that it is powerful if you do know. So learn. And that was part of me understanding our light being, right? That's why our chakras, our Merkaba, our light body, is represented by the rainbow, because we are the prism for light to go through, which is why I say good morning beautiful light beings when I make my posts and stuff, because I actually mean it. Like, we are literally light beings. But anyway, so let me ground into what I'm trying to say here, because I haven't said it. So you must understand the lesson or the teaching of the experience and the emotion for it to be let go of. Okay, so if you're really struggling with something, like, in order for you to really anchor in that emotion, you have to learn the lesson or the teaching of that emotion or experience in order for you to move through it. That's the process of moving through it, is understanding it, right? Like, whoa, okay, this is what sadness feels like. This is what grief feels like. This is what frustration feels like. And now how am I going to move through that emotion? Because fuck, is it ever a brutal task, right? And so it's like, when you are sitting and having these things come up, it's like, okay, what is this here to teach me? What is this teaching me? What is this teaching me, right? So yeah, you are needing to see, hear, acknowledge, and witness these aspects of your psyche, these aspects of you, right? And so being able to sit with yourself to process and go through whatever it is really, really potent, really, really powerful. As the veil is thinning and we're being upgraded so fast from all the different high energies that are coming in, then this is your time to shine, right? Like, this is literally, the universe is supporting us so much. We just have to start listening and taking action, divine action, because divine action is when we listen and then take action, instead of thinking we know everything and then we're just going to do it all. Okay? Because you don't have to do it all, right? Okay, beautiful. I'm going to just read right through this. So the veil is thinning as we approach the full moon, October 20th, and Halloween. So keep this in mind for all of October, okay? So just keep reminding yourself the veil is thinning and that it's connecting you more and more to your soul, to your higher self, to spirit, to God. Our shadow is being illuminated, and it's alchemizing our emotions into empowerment. So our grief, our sadness, our loneliness, our suffering, all these denser, lower emotions are actually being alchemized right now. They're being transmuted, which is why they're coming up, because in order for something to come out, it has to come up, right? It has to come up and out, and then you've processed it, then you've released it. And that's why crying is so important. Okay, and then so our shadow is being, so subconscious is becoming conscious, which I've already said, which will clutter the mental body, confusing the emotional body. So that was really important to understand, is like the subconscious, right? So we have our subconscious mind below our consciousness, and so that'll creep up and bubble up to say, hey, can you clear me, because I'm really done with this now. And then your conscious mind can go, oh yeah, okay, sure, what are you here to teach me? Why are you going through this, right? And so like, then what that, if you don't have that dialogue, right, but like you'll have like my subconscious, I'm scared, oh my god, now I'm scared and I don't know why I'm scared, what's going on, why am I feeling like this, oh my god, I haven't felt this sad in so long, like how do I process this, what do I do, am I going to be depressed for the rest of my life, how am I going to do this? And then you go into this downward spiral, and that causes the emotional trigger, right? And so when your subconscious comes to the conscious mind, and then it manifests in emotions, and then we get stuck in the emotion and we try to rationalize why the emotion is, but it's so deep within our subconscious that we actually don't know how to listen to that part of ourselves, right? So really tapping into that subconscious, right? And then as you tap into that, you'll tap into the collective of that subconscious mind too, right? Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get so much information out. I have so much. Okay. Okay, so how do we purge our emotions? So, we have to understand that our emotions are biochemical reaction from our brain, from our nervous system to the body, to the all of the organs, everything, right? And so what happens is, like, you feel you have the emotion arise, your body reacts to the emotion, and then your mind reacts to the emotion. Okay, and so then what do we do with that? We can cry. That's like my highest recommendation, is like, if you can cry and let it out, and to feel it and to grieve it and to just be so fucking sad, and that's okay, and to feel it and to let it out and to just feel the hurt of the world, to feel your hurt, to just let it out, to just allow your body to feel a release, a relief of this pressure that we're under as these human beings right now in such a crazy time, right? So the tears will release the mind, the body, and the spirit, right? So allow for the water to cleanse you. Allow for your emotions to cleanse you, and allow for your tears to cleanse you, okay? Okay, so now we're going to get into why to cry. And I have like a little thing here, which honestly will go pretty fast because most of it is just like explaining definitions and stuff, right? Okay, so crying is a natural response that humans have to a range of emotions: sadness, grief, joy, frustration, all of it, right? Humans produce 3 types of tears. I just did this little research right before recording, so here it is. So humans have 3 types of tears that they produce. We produce basal tears, which basal is when the tear ducts are constantly secreting this. It's a protein-rich antibacterial liquid, and it just keeps the eye moist and protected is basically the point of those tears, right? Which I guess, like, say you have dry eyes, maybe you don't produce enough, you don't have enough moisture in your body. Or maybe that part of you isn't working. Anyway, getting distracted. We have reflex tears, okay? So these tears are triggered by irritants such as wind, smoke, or onions, and these are released to flush the irritants out to protect the eye, right? So if you're cutting an onion or you get some dirt or smoke or this or that in your eye, then your body just produces more of this reflex tear in order to keep your eye protected, right? And then we have the emotional tears, right? And so our emotional tears, they are in response to a range of emotions. These tears release a high level of stress hormone, which is cortisol, right? And so as we cry, we're actually physically releasing certain hormones in our body that are being trapped within our body. And when we're stressed, we produce a high amount of cortisol, and that is like our stress hormone. And so then we're constantly like fucking freaking out. Our body's freaking out, our mind's freaking out, and we're just like sitting in the car scrolling through Facebook, but we're having like this detrimental experience within our body that we don't even know that we're having, right? And so like allowing for ourselves to really sit with that and to process it and allow it to flow through you, it has so many effects. So I'm just going to read through the few effects here that I wrote down, and I'm just going to read it right through because it's just a lot of information and I don't want to repeat myself. Okay, so the benefits of tears: it has a soothing effect, it helps to self-regulate emotions, calms themselves and reduces stress, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic nervous system is the exact opposite part of function of our nervous system than the fight or flight. So we have fight or flight, and then we have rest and digest. Rest and digest is parasympathetic nervous system, okay? So that is when we are in a relaxed state, okay? So it allows for us to regulate our own emotions, and it allows for our nervous system to calm down as well. That is what that one's saying. It helps to communicate to others when we are not okay. So like in a societal setting, in a, or maybe not societal, but like in like a person, like a one-on-one, like not just you, it helps to communicate with someone that you're not okay, right? And so when you're about to explode or implode and they go, oh my God, what's wrong? Are you okay? That was kind of the gateway into accessing that emotion for you, right? It helps to relieve pain. Shedding tears releases oxytocin and endorphins. So oxytocin and endorphins, these are the feel-good hormones in our body, right? So oxytocin is like our connection hormone. So like a very common example to explain when we release oxytocin is like when a baby is breastfeeding and that mother and that child have that bond and they're both feeling that connection, and they actually release oxytocin, which then allows for you to feel more connected because you now have this this hormone pulsing through your blood, right? Which allows for you to feel good. Okay, it enhances mood. And like I just said, it enhances mood due to releasing these different hormones and endorphins, and it helps us to release stuck energies, right? So like you think about water and you think about purification and you think about like, when you want to wash something, you use water. Well, it's like the same thing with your body, is that when you allow yourself to cry, when you allow yourself to release, you are actually producing good hormones, you're releasing negative hormones, you're negative, like, I mean, stuck hormones, I'm gonna say, because stress is really not a negative thing. It's just too much of it is a problem, right? Because it's important to have that mechanism within our body to know if we're safe or not, right? So just clearing that up, right? But it helps us to release these stuck energies, okay? So like, it's like water, it's like a bath for your body, for your soul, for your mind, right? Because you're releasing toxins, which relieves stress. It allows for physical release of the pent-up emotions, of the hormones, of the feelings, right? And then they also said that it might aid in sleep, as it helps babies sleep better, for calming, pain relieving, mood enhancing. Crying can help for better sleep, right? And so, yeah, like really understanding your emotions and really sitting with them, because as the veil thins, that is the way that the other side kind of communicates to us, through our sensations, because we are sensational beings, right? Like, we have only our senses in order to communicate, right? And so when we're able to actually interpret those senses at a higher capacity to understand, oh, this is why I'm feeling it, and actually have that understanding, then that allows for us to move through and to use this tool of crying, of just simply crying, like just cry, right? That's it. And then you basically are allowing your body to regenerate and repair, right? So, woo! That is all for now. For this week. I'm going to pull some cards just because I love to. I doubt I will spend a lot of time on them, even though I say that about everything. But because I really just said so much information, and these will just basically be confirmation and validation for me. So, wow, I want them all. I always want them all. All right. I guess we're gonna do the Soul's Journey lesson cards for the first confirmation. All right, let's just, like, if you can, just close your eyes and, like, wow, let that shit sink in, because that was a lot of information. And kudos to you if you've made it this far. Like, seriously, kudos, because it's a lot, and I know. But it's who I am, baby. All right, cool. So let's just call in a card that is going to show us what it is. What is the energy for this week? What is the one word from our soul, from this Soul's Journey deck, that is going to help us get through the week, that is kind of going to give us, there it is, growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. See, guys, this is so incredible. Like, we're so supported right now. We're so sick of the old shit. We're ready for the new shit. We're ready for bigger. We're ready for better. We're ready for, like, love, man. Like, really, that's all that it comes down to. Love, baby. All right, growth. So I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. All right, well, let's see what angel is going to be here with us today. This week, I guess, not today. Oh. Angel therapy, all of them. Give your cares and worries to us, angels, and allow us to take your burdens. Okay, so they're literally like, yo, you didn't even mention me. Sorry, angels. The angels are always here to help us, guys, okay? I just can't fit everything into one video. But the angels, they are basically more readily available too with this veil thinning, because everything's energy, the veil is thinning, so we're able to access this energy more easily, and we're able to hear it, and we're able to sense it, and they actually show up in the numbers, and on the clock, on license plates, in songs, in all the ways. You just have to be listening, okay? And so they really want you to know that, okay? Like, really connect to the angels this week, because they are like the most powerful and helpful beings, right? They are literally messengers from source to help us, to basically give us the energy, give us the understanding, give us the healing, give us the protection that we need. They're always there. It's literally a thought away. like literally, like right there. I'm like, hey, oh, now they're there. I just thought of them, right? Even though they're always here, but you have to also call them in, because is that prosperity? Yeah, you have to call them in because they we have free will, so they can't intervene. They can't actually come into our lives without us actually saying, yes, please come help me, right? And career transition. So your life purpose is triggering a blessed career change. That's what I'm saying. Like, whoever's on here watching this far, like, you're here to really, like, be the way shower, really anchor in these higher frequencies and really be the alchemical mutation. Be it. Like, just be that process. And breathe. I know it's not easy at all. But yeah, connect to your breath. And then victory's on the bottom, right? So yeah, the angels are really, really, really supporting us, especially if you're in a situation where, like, you need finances and you're not enjoying the way that you've been receiving them. Like, I want to show you all of them at the same time. Okay, career transition, breathe, prosperity, and angel therapy, okay? And then we have growth, and then we have victory, right? So, like, and right on the other side of that is take your power back. That's all it is. We're taking our power back. And then divine order and peace, right? Exactly. So trust. Chill out. Trust. It's all coming together. Call in the angels. Do what you need to do. Take care of yourself. Listen intently. And the sacred geometry. Give us one card. That one right off the top. Discernment. Yes, yes. How could I not talk about discernment at all? The frequency of discernment supports our ability to view the world and the people around us from a place of inner balance and detachment, yet with compassion and wisdom. So I kind of did talk about it, but I didn't call it discernment. So bringing that compassion, bringing that love, bringing that wisdom, bringing that understanding, bringing that, conscious awareness comes with discernment, right? Like, you have to be able to discern. And that's what I keep asking you, what is serving you, what is not, what is serving you, what is not, right? Like, that's why that is called discernment, right? Oh, this is filling my cup. Oh, I understand what's going on here. I understand the energy that I'm giving. I understand the energy that I'm taking, this and that. And then I can see that is discernment right there, okay? So having the capacity to be able to know the truth of something. And then realization, the frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming our higher expression in this world. Well, guys, could that have been any more divine? What a way to end that. Discernment, realization. So perfect. All right. Well, guys, that's all I got for you. So I hope that you enjoyed. Don't forget about my weekly giveaway, because I got to give it away to someone, right? Yeah, so check out Translucent Truth Yoga on YouTube, on Instagram. What's the other one? Facebook. Yeah, Facebook. That's the main one. That's where you're going to find the weekly giveaway, because I needed to keep it to one spot. Yeah. Last thing I'm being guided to share is that this is a timeless reading. I really should have said that at the beginning, but yeah, keep that in mind, that these are just messages from source, basically, and your higher self communicating to you. While it is dedicated for this week of October 4th, 2021, that doesn't really mean anything, okay? It's just when I channeled the information, and other than that, the information is timeless, and I hope that it finds you well, and I hope that you're able to feel yourself and express yourself and find your honesty and your integrity and your truth and everything that you deserve, because you deserve it. So I'm sending you guys so much love, and I will see you next week. Bye.